Hi, my name is Anna Jacyszyn, and I'm a curious mind who wants to meet interesting people. That's why this show is called Whattaya Say with Anna J. So, should we go and meet somebody interesting? Hello again. I'm Anna Jacyszyn with Whattaya Say with Anna J. So, today my guest is an icon of the Okanagan. Her claim to fame for being the beacon of the eponymous pub restaurant, I think that we all know, it once existed beside the Delta Grand for 25 years. This woman of beauty and grace is as fragrant as her name. May I introduce my friend and my guest, Rose Sexsmith. Hello.
Hello, beautiful Anna. Oh, thanks so much for having me.
I am so excited to finally talk to you and about all the things that, because we spend a lot of time with each other, so I don't really ask you the questions that maybe other people might be interested in. So it's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Well, thank you very much.
So I just want to talk to you a little bit about your history. So tell me a little about the glory days of Rose's. My nephew Michael worked there. He couldn't wait to become of age so that he could be a bartender there because everybody wanted to go. Yeah. I was living in England, so I missed those days. But tell me a little bit about starting Rose's. What I don't know.
Well, I worked in a pub.
Yeah.
At the Packing House Pub for 10 or 11 years.
Oh, that's right.
Before we went into business up at Big White.
Okay.
And then we opened our first bar up there and named it Roses on the Ridge. And just as we had figured it out, my husband said, there's an opportunity downtown for a pub.
Wow.
And I was scared. Anyway, he took me down there, showed me where where we were going to be, and I'm like,
wow, this is big.
If we build it, they will come. But
yes.
Anna, never in a million years did I ever think it was going to be as successful as it was.
Oh, honey, every year I would come home for holidays and the queues were around the corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was, and we kept, in those days there was 1 million liquor licenses, so we got a pub license, a neighborhood pub license, thinking that was the best, but we were limited at 125 seats and 50 seats outside. So you could blow a cannon through there. So we kept getting warnings and closures for being overcrowded.
Oh, yeah.
But the liquor inspector was so great because we really did try hard. And he said, apply for this other license. And so we applied. He said, you'll get more seats. So we did. And then they changed the laws so then we could apply for as many seats as we had square footage for.
It sounds like a lot of paperwork.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. But at the end of it all, when we sold, we were at 195 seats inside and 156 outside. And, truth be known, there was a lot of nights there was a lot more than that in there.
I know. Well, that was those days. And
I
remember going to clubs when it was capacity of 1,000, and there's 300,000 people in there or whatever. I get it. So I know you had Hannah's upstairs, and that's when I first met you at Hannah's because you had, after you kind of semi-retired, even though you still had Rose's and you had Hannah's now, you started working in charitable work. And I remember being invited to a Wild Woman, Wise Woman. That's right. You also did a lot of the the 100 Women Who Care movement. Because of those, I remember in 2014 I was on the committee for the Arts Awards, and you won Woman of the Year, and that was a no-brainer for us because of all your charitable work. What kind of made you decide that you wanted to dive heavily into that giving back thing? Because you really enhance the woman. You give to women, and with me especially, I was new, and I just remember this Rose Sexsmith. Do you know her? She's so special, and everybody across the board was like blah blah blah, and they have their own story. So tell me a little bit about you wanting to give back and your charitable.
Well, thanks, Anna. You say the kindest things.
Oh no, I'm telling you the truth. I wish that I was blowing smoke up your whatever.
Well, it's kind of I believe that I was born with my own book of life. And when I worked at, even before I moved to Kelowna, I did things canvas for the cancer whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And Heart and Stroke and all that.
Oh, yes.
That's about the only charities there were then. And I moved to Kelowna, and the man that owned the Packing House pub, he really got me into community charitable work. And,
Right.
and how he did that is, remember at Timmy's, I said the first time I was at a Timmy's was
Yeah.
like probably 30 some years ago, or I don't know, more than that. It was like
Yeah, so
probably
just to
40
be
years
clear,
ago.
I MC the Tiny Tim breakfast once a year at the Capri Hotel, and I book and produce the shows to bring all the acts, and Rose with her ukuleles is what we're going to talk about later. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so anyway, what Bud would do is, his name was Bud Mooney, what he would do is he would figure out a way to raise funds, like he'd buy a barbecue and sell tickets, and you know, and so
right.
all that money
And all the money
would
went
go
to a charity.
And so
Okay.
he'd get me to go and give our donation to whatever charity.
Right.
And that's when I first got like
So, what made you go to Wild Women, Wise Women? What was that?
Well, it was like, Anna, it was like running into you, or I'd see my friends and we'd say, let's get together for lunch, let's get together. So one day I thought, I'm just going to get these gals all together at the same time. And then, of course, you get a bunch of women together, it always turns into a fundraiser, always.
Well, it's fundraiser.
Yes, fun and fund. So then I started small, you know, little bits like, you know, $10 from each person went to whatever charity. And then what happened is these dynamic women in the community came on and said, I can do better than that for you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. And then all of a sudden I had these amazing women that were made at Wild Women, Wise Women go from us raising $2,000 to I don't even remember how much it was. Around 30.
I think it capped at 35,000 or something.
Yeah,
because we had an MP that came in and showed up one year.
Yes,
the year that I
sang.
sang.
What's her name? Isn't that
I know.
awful?
No, that's okay.
Can't remember her
We'll talk
name.
about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I just really loved how it escalated into something so big that people still talk about it and still want to do it.
It was in those days, it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. And you know, when you talk about roses, so many people describe roses as a beer commercial. It was just always like, the vibe was always...
People hugged each other.
Yes,
the staff stayed forever because they didn't want to leave.
Forever.
You just felt comfortable. And as somebody who only came to town once a year or something, to recognize somebody saying, she's fine, and you feel special because they let the regulars come in. Of course, the tourists are always welcome and feel as comfortable, but you always pandered also to the locals, and I loved that.
It covered a lot of everything for everybody.
That's good memories. I want to see the scrapbook and the book of Rose's Pub, I have to say. So since you kind of retired, and then now the pub sold on, you started doing a lot of things you've always been reflective, and also were very kind and giving, but you started taking these journeys, these hikes. You started playing a musical instrument. Tell me firstly, just a little bit before we go into the ukulele, about your hikes, because I remember you saying, I'm traveling now and I'm going here and I'm hiking. I'm thinking, I want to sit on a beach when I travel. But you hike. Tell me about that hike that I just lost the word.
The Camino. The Camino, yes.
So tell me about that for a minute.
So the Camino that I did was the original one. It was the Camino de Francis. And it starts at the border of France and Spain at the Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. And it's a 500-mile or 800-kilometer walk.
See what I mean?
But it's so fabulous. It's
But you just walk.
You just walk.
Walk.
I mean,
obviously you meet people.
Oh my gosh, that was one thing that I loved about it is you had a destination every day. You had a destination. Every day you had new surroundings. Every day you met new people. And Anna, they say the Camino is like doing life. Doing the Camino is like doing life. And of course we are doing life for 5 or 6 weeks while we're walking it, right?
Yeah.
But you know when you have a good friend, say, and you hang out with that friend for a few years, and then you kind of like veer off and you do life, and then oh my gosh, you walk together again. And that's like the Camino. It's like I met people that I'd walk with for a bit, and then I wouldn't see them for a couple of weeks, and which is big in those, you know. And then all of a sudden, I ran into them again. Oh, Anna, it was such an amazing experience.
It must have been tiring, and in rain and in things like that, but you didn't care because you were there for a cause of the heart, right?
You know, Karen, as you know, our friends Karen and Tom, they're the first people that I ever knew that did it.
Yeah.
And ever since I heard them talk about it, it was something that I really thought, oh man, I'd love to do that. It wasn't until years later, a friend of mine said, let's do something. And I said, well, these friends of mine have done this Camino. And she goes, let's do it.
That's it, right.
And so we did. And, you know, we kind of split up halfway through, but we became really good friends again. But that happens a lot on the Camino because you are doing life, and if you're trying to do life together with somebody that you're not on this, even though you love them, you're not on the same page with them.
I love that. That's like a journey through real life.
Yes.
And I know that you, when I said something about the heart, that sparked a memory. You seem to always find hearts in everything.
Yes, they're
and
everywhere.
Beauty in everything. I love sometimes you capture these just a random picture, but then inside of it is something so much more meaningful.
Yeah.
And so, how do you find that you're gifted from that, aren't you? Like, your life is blessed.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
But I feel that it's I think it's there for everybody. I just think. That's just who I am.
I know.
You know,
you always used to say to me when I'd say, Rose, how are you? You would say, I
am gratefully blessed and highly favored.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that you love that.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things.
Yes, me too, Anna.
We are going to talk about the ukulele because that's another little passion of yours.
Yes, it
that
is.
You started playing, and now it seems to be all of a sudden there is a bigger growing of members at the ukuleles. Now it's a club called the Ukuleles, and everyone gets together to play. And you've become so good that you are now gigging live, but it's with such heart and passion. So just tell me, what was the first pickup of the ukulele? Now I want to call it the ukuleles. The ukulele. Like ukulele, and then like why that? Why did you think the ukulele? Like some people want to play the piano or guitar or something else, but why the ukulele?
So I had never had music lessons, but I love to sing like everybody. I think we all love to sing, right? I think it's a natural thing. It's like laughing.
Yes.
So my old boss, Bud Mooney from the Packing House Pub, he was the first guy to ever buy a karaoke machine.
Oh.
And he got me we did Monday night sing along with Rose.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, so when, years later, I always wanted to know how to play a piano, but I just didn't want to learn.
Yeah.
I always wanted to know how to play a guitar. It was overwhelming.
Takes a lot.
It's like,
25 years and you're still okay at it.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, I was seeing this guy for a while, and he bought me this ukulele, and it sat on my cupboard for years after that relationship even, finished. And one day I looked at it, and I went on YouTube, I tried on my own, and one day I thought, the rec center probably has ukulele lessons. So I Googled it, and they had started the week before.
Right.
And yes, they still had room.
And when was that? Like, how many years ago was that now?
Boy, time just...
I know. I have no idea.
I'm going to say...
8?
6 or 7, maybe 8. I don't know.
I don't know. I was just, because I always say that I've been here for 10 years until I realized I came here in 2008.
Yeah. It's got to be 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
So I wish I was better than I am after all that. But anyway, so I looked it up, and the classes were not very far from me. Mm-hmm. And so I showed up, and after the very first class, it was like, I got
I
it.
love this. Yeah.
And also, Anna, there's so much stuff online.
Right, okay.
Oh my gosh, I learned so much online. So then it was when I got excited, it's like, it's easy, you know, everything's
And then
contagious.
you're telling, and every year you invite people over.
Exactly. So then Shelley, you know,
Yes,
like
exactly.
you gotta get a ukulele.
Oh
you
my
know, everybody
goodness.
is like, you know what really is awesome? In the Artalola ukulele group, one of the gals that's there is a couple years older than me, and her daughter is one of our group, and she's she's a year older than my son. So I love that. There's that.
There's that age.
And Jen, who is like
Yes.
41.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So it's so, and
So-
then in between, you know, it's wonderful. I love it so much.
So Rose has always asked me to join the ukuleles or just like come and hang out because she said it was easy. And I've always been really apprehensive because as a professional, you kind of want to go in there with a rock star attitude, and it's always kind of intimidated me. So today, I've asked Rose to teach me a few chords, and we're going to play, and so that I can join the ukuleles. So we're going to be back in a minute with Rose Sexsmith. See you in a minute. So we're back with Rose Sexsmith, and I have a ukulele in hand, and so does she. She's going to teach me a little bit about the ukulele. I got to need my glasses for this because she's given me actual notes. Rose, show me what to do.
Two chords.
Two chords.
First chord is the A chord. So you've got your index finger
On the top of the fret, in the
on
second.
the second string on the first fret. You got your middle finger on the top string of the G string of the second fret.
The G string.
Yeah.
Should have done my nails.
And for the F, and our second chord is F sharp minor. So
Which?
all we do is drop the ring finger down to the E string.
Okay, so this is the A.
Yes.
So you said something about,
So strum up and
does
down.
that sound like,
Well, I think you've got some other strings covered there.
oh, do I?
Yeah. There.
Okay, what is
Yeah.
it supposed to sound like?
Yeah, okay, strum. Yeah, we sound the same. And then,
Okay, so
Okay.
I just go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the A.
so it'd go